Okay, hello everybody. This is week one, and we are starting on Commerce COMM 1100 course, which is business decision making. And since it's week one, it will be about introducing several terminologies, concepts, and ideas. So, yes, we are starting right now. Okay, so starting from definition of economy. Economy. Economy is being described as social science of unlimited wants and limited means. Okay, unlimited wants and limited means. And then the economy is a major factor that affect our decision when it comes to business decision. And some of the decision that may be is like, what do we sell as a business, or how much is the cost or price that we have to set for people to actually buy our stuff. Okay, that's economy. And the unlimited wants, so people tends to have unlimited wants. Yep. But we only have limited resource in society, such as amount of food, amount of product that is being produced. Yeah, and this is the basic uh, that force economy to run. Okay, next part is law. And for law, it's constraints. Okay, it's constraints for businesses and also like limitations. And but, okay, but we have to be aware that it is also kind of opportunities because that no one will notice, or like no one will have this insight that maybe you can have something that you see that others don't, maybe like some restrictions that force you to don't do this, don't do that, but maybe you find a way which the law hasn't covered. So it's also opportunities. And also maybe laws like intellectual property, they protect them, and enabler it enables the business to have a very consistent and a set amount of stable market share, and that's law. The next one we're talking about is CR, corporate responsibility. Forgive my handwriting. And it's about ethic. It's about ethic, corporate ethic. And the thing that when it comes to ethic is how do they make money, okay? How do they make money? Not how they spent. Spent. Okay. So what that means is, for example, if I have a tobacco company which it sells tobacco, and then it kind of do charity and maybe donate money to kids service. Is this corporate a good corporate? Is it ethical? We will say it's not, because it's about how they make money. How they make money. Okay, next one is margin. So when it comes to market and business economy, it's all about margin. So we will get more deeper into margin, like marginal benefit, marginal cost, etc. things later in the course. And we have to note that margin is just addition. Okay, addition of something. So basically, like marginal benefit is additional profit, we will say. And marginal cost is the original cost plus the extra marginal cost. Okay, so that's basically the definition of margin. Yep. And then the last one is sunk cost. And it's generally being referred as incurred cost, which is cost that you have already given. You can't take it back. It's locked. Okay, it's locked. It's untakeable. It's you can't retrieve it. And then we will talk about one principle that is called cost, not the one, benefit principle. And what it says is the market will always follows an instinct of cost smaller than benefit rule. So if I have one person that say, okay, I want to buy an apple from somebody that maybe is like a farmer or something, and he got a bunch of apples, right? So maybe this guy, he get each apple for $1, and this guy's his will to eat the apple is valued at $4. Let's say that's the case. So if this guy spent $4 buying one apple, this guy will have $3 profit, right? And then we have to look back that if this guy, he's only willing to pay like $0.5 for an apple if he thinks that's the value of eating an apple, he's not going to buy it, right? He's not going to buy it at all if he thinks 0.5 for each apple eaten. Okay, since that is smaller than $1, which is the price, okay, we're going to know that this price is the cost of him eating the apple, and this is the benefit of eating the apple. Now obviously in here the cost is larger than benefit, so this person will not buy apple. Okay, so if his willingness to eat apple is worth $1.5, since it's larger than 1, he will buy it. Okay, and that's the reason why we have so much people selling different items, different things, and the price are all different, but there's still people willing to buy it. Okay, once we finish all those terms and one principle, we can get into the decision part. First, when we talk about decisions, we have to talk about stakeholders. And stakeholders are people, the definition is people that get affected or affecting. So this term, it's really wide because it could be also be further categorized in 3 kind of stakeholders. We have organization stakeholders, and this is people like employee, right? Employee, the manager, etc. And we can also categorize it. Ooh, what happened? We can also categorize it in other 2, which is respectively the market, and the society. So this society could be community. Oh, community and government. Maybe not and, but like or. And or. And in the market, that's maybe like competitors and clients. Okay? And when it comes to decision, your decision as a business person will affect all the stakeholders. All stakeholders. Yep, that's how wide we are talking about. Okay, so since we are talking about it, talking stakeholders in three category, we also have another system that we generally call primary or secondary system, which we classify them as primary and secondary. So the difference is almost like the one, and the primary one we can just simply say these are the people, these stakeholders that do have a contract. So these are like manager, employee, supplier, etc. And secondary are like the people that doesn't have a contract. And this could be our client. I mean, for clients, you sometimes have to sign TNC, which is term and conditions or whatever. So basically, it's still contract. So I would say non-contract. Yep, non-contract. So those are people like society, community, and sometimes government. Yeah. So we can see from both systems, there's a clear distinction of some important stakeholders and some less important stakeholders. Okay, the important here, it doesn't mean that it is not really that that's not important, is that your effect, the degree, the level of effect to the core is generally higher, or like the effect is much stronger than the lower one, which is, for example, society. And we, from above, can get a conclusion that we have core stakeholders, which we have more valuation on them. So when we consider decisions, we put more focus on satisfying them. Okay, note here, this is a traditional type of thinking. Naturally, in our new society, our new world, we were considering something that is like CR, or maybe you know it as CSR, that is corporate social responsibility. Since I wrote that before, I will not write them again. And this, what it means is that we are forcing the government, and the laws are forcing people, forcing corporates, businesses to consider things beyond, consider beyond those core stakeholders. So, for example, child labor problem. Let's say this little boy is 9 years old, and then he's working for so much in some factory at a place in the South Asia, maybe like some place like Vietnam or whatever. So if the supplier, your business supplier, do hire these people, it is actually an offense in Australia law. because corporates have to report and constantly investigate into the supply chain and prevent child labor. So that's one type of CR we see in decision making that has been applied into the law. Okay, so when we talk about decisions, we have to talk about consequences, right? Consequences are what we want, what we expect, and what we doesn't. It's a mix of those. So when it comes to making decisions and having consequences, it's sometimes the consequence is expected or unexpected or whatever. So limit to limit the uncertainty of consequences, people will hire specialized people, specialized expert, such as economist, economist, lawyer, corporate responsibility expert, and maybe like manager, consultant. So there's also different aspect of the thing. So economists will maybe provide some insight of your decision regarding profit and value, assets, etc. And lawyer, obviously, it's about the legitimacy of corporate, and also like the restriction applied, etc. Right? For CR expert, you just want to make sure that all your act in business is being regulated. Since we have so much association and organization, which is international, so they are being executed internationally. So if you want your business to be involved in international business, of course you have to be aware of the corporate expert thing. You have to ask them about their opinions. And at last, when it comes to manager consultant, what this means is a group of people. And the reason is that when you are making decisions, generally speaking, you are not doing it as a single person. You're doing it as a group of executives discussion about the thing that you want to make a decision on. So whenever this thing comes, you want to have some manager, consultant asking each people's ideas, and then maybe finalize them, summarize them, and then get the actual agreement on the decision. And at last, but not least, is about the ripple effect of consequences. Ripple effect. So ripple effect, what we are talking about here is, okay, for example, today my business, maybe like spend $10 on a raw material, on some more raw material, and I use it to build a $15 thing, maybe like a laptop or whatever, and then I sold it for like $50 or whatever. Okay. Now, generally speaking, $50 thing, you get a profit of like $40, and then yeah, it's whatever this is doesn't really matter. But the things that matter is this $10. Okay. So the ripple effect. So now you have $10 raw material, which you are selling it for $50. So you have a very high profit. That's not much problem, and maybe you get a lot of profit. But the ripple effect, maybe what ripple effect will occur is that if you have such a low price in raw materials, maybe it means that your material is poor and that your quality is low, right? And when quality is low, your brand reputation will be bad. And that's a sad face. No. You can't let your brand's reputation be bad. Reputation, sorry. Thank you for correcting me. And a brand reputation is a very important thing in business world. And we really have to consider those. And let's come back to the consequence. Speaking of consequence, there's so many things that we have to consider, right? We have to consider agency, we have to consider our options, we have to consider outcomes, possible outcomes, and also the content, the context, not content, I'm sorry, context. And this one is critical because in different context, these are all different, right? You have all different things, different outcomes, different options, different agency in different context. Okay. We have to know that if we go back to the place where we see the little guys selling things, selling apples, there's a term that is called economic surplus. So if we are back to the example where the apple was worth $1.5 and you sell it for $1, right? These people get benefit of 0.5. And if your cost was $0.5, obviously you also got $0.5 profit since you are selling it for $1, right? And we just write that as plus sign, cost. So you and this guy, both got $0.5 profit. And we are calling this economic surplus. And this idea is really important. We have to remember it for sure. Okay, next one is when we make decisions, we do have to consider about models, right? Models. Not the hot models, not the girl models, but the models for simulation. So models are representation of reality, and it provides a partial representation, okay? A partial representation, not a full one, a partial representation that will assist you in getting the right decision, assist decision making. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, and this one, whenever we use models, we have to note that it is absolutely important to evaluate models, appropriateness of the model. Okay, for example, if I want to get from here to here, right, I need a Google map, right? I don't need a freaking globe. I only need a Google map. So in this case, if we want to get from one place, from here to another place, right? Which one's a better model? Obviously, Google Maps the best. All the best options here, the better one. Okay, you're not gonna take a globe and like check which road you're on. Okay. Yeah, and that's how economists use models to simulate the market. But in terms of models, it's different from the visual models. Different, not visual. It's more like story-like. Okay, and in this story, we have different agencies, and these different agencies, they have different preference or like motivations to do something. They want different kind of profit. So maybe I'll have a model, say this guy A, okay, he's a really kind guy, and what he want to donate $10 to this organization, and that's his preference. And in this model, obviously the $10 is going to be going to the organization, and that's how we model some basic transaction between the agencies. And also, we will make a constraint. So let's say he only have $5. What's going to happen? So I would say if he only have $5, he probably don't even put it into organizations. But if he has 1,000,000,000 or whatever numbers of dollars, he's probably gonna like give 10 to the organization, right? He doesn't lack of it. He's not lacking money. And that's basically what you need to know for models. And next one is something called opportunity cost. And please remember this, because whenever we are making decisions, economists are always talking about cost. And this cost is not just simply things like material cost or resource cost. No. Opportunity cost is the definition that the chance to do the cost to do second best, or let's say next best alternative. So what I means is I have $10 and I can either buy a beer, let's say a beer, and or an apple, right? So if I use $10 to buy a beer, a Dole bear, it's worth $10, right? Okay, I got a $10 bear. But now I have no money for the apple. No money for the apple, right? But if I buy the apple, okay, no, this apple is like $10 or whatever, I will lose the chance to get this bear, right? And which option should you choose? That depends, right? So if you like the bear and you think that mental value, you think it's like $15, then if you buy this one, obviously you got a $5 profit. $5 economic surplus, right? And if eating apple only like worth 8, then you basically lose 2. And according to the cost benefit principle, you won't buy it at all. So if it's like worth $12, yeah, you would get $2 economic surplus, which is less than a bear. So in this case, you would choose the bear, right? That's basically what it means. So opportunity cost is always a very important thing to consider when it comes to making decisions, because it is the cost that we are talking about as economists. Okay, next to that, we are going to next lesson, but that's basically all for today. And thank you for enjoying this course with me, getting along with this kind of course content, and thank you. Hope to see you next time.